Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching a very special edition of the Oilers Rundown, coming to you from Ford Hall in Rogers Place, where I am joined by two very special guests. Today's episode will take place on my channel, the Oilers Fanatic, but it will also be broadcast on the Heavy Hockey Network for you to enjoy. So, without further ado, welcoming in Russ, the world's #1 Calvin Pickard fan and overall Oilers superfan, coming to us from Blackpool in the UK. So he's here visiting, but I'll let Russ go into the full story there. And we have Jeff, big Stuart Skinner supporter, and of course known as the Sherwood Park Oilers superfan. So I got two of the biggest Oilers fans in the world here with me. Russ, let's get you started. Give us the story of your Oilers fandom.
Well, thank you, Patrick. It's a pleasure to be on the channel, and it's a pleasure to have my voice heard across the oil country and around the world. So my story got started in 1999 when I was searching for something to watch on TV one night, and I couldn't sleep. And Channel 5 in the UK had only just recently started showing North American sports late night. So as I was searching for things to watch, I found Channel 5, and they were showing some hockey on TV, and it was the Edmonton Oilers playing the Dallas Stars.
Is that the 1997 you were saying?
1999. So they launched in 1997, and they started showing North American sports late night in 1999 or so.
Yeah, so that would have been, it was 97 we had the Todd Marchant goal. So you were a little late to that one.
Just a little late to the party on that. But I almost feel like it was destiny that somehow, some way, it was another tie that brought me back to the city of Edmonton somehow, because everything that I sort of took an interest in my early years always had a link back to Edmonton somehow. We talk about Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox, of course, was born here in Edmonton in 1961. Professional wrestling is also very, very big here in the city of Edmonton, and one of my favorite wrestlers was Bill from Edmonton as well. And it was just another Edmonton tie that you just can't ignore. And then, of course, as I'm learning a little bit more about the sport growing up and getting a little bit older, I want to research into the history and the heritage of the Stanley Cup, which is obviously the ultimate prize that's given in this sport. And who won the Stanley Cup the year I was born in 1985? Of course, it was the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, definitely a perfect start to your Oilers fandom there. Pleasure to have you here today, Russ. Question number 2 goes to you, Jeff. Give us the story of your Oilers fandom.
All right, thank you so much, Patrick, for having us on today. My Oilers fandom is a little bit different than Russ's, even though I was born and raised here. I grew up in a family household where nobody in my family really watched sports. We liked the Edmonton sports teams, but there wasn't really a big following. When the Oilers went for sale is when I became heavily invested in the Edmonton Oilers and what was going on, and the fact, who was going to buy the team, if it was going to be a local, person to keep the team in the city, or if they were going to get moved. And then when the team was obviously bought and kept in the city, I started watching more on a regular basis. And at that time, Curtis Joseph was the goaltender. And I've always been a huge goaltender fan, as you can tell by my Stuart Skinner jersey. And so in 1996, I got my first Edmonton Oilers jersey, which was a Curtis Joseph jersey. And then from there, I just slowly became more heavily invested in the team. Did all my own research about rules and everything and how the game worked. And here I am today.
Yeah, it was a scary time, the Edmonton Investors Group coming in and basically saving the team and bringing in an amazing super fan at the same time. So, hey, just ticked off a couple of boxes on that one.
Absolutely.
So, Russ and Jeff, there's a reason I have you guys here together. You're the best of friends, ride or dies, as I've heard you say, Russ. Right. So, give us your story. How did you two meet? Why are you each other's ride or dies?
It's crazy to think, really, that we just happened to be in a Facebook group together way back in like the early 2010s, probably 2013. I want to say it was called the Edmonton Oilers Diehards group. This time, I was really starting to get heavily invested in my love for the Edmonton Oilers. So I had a little bit more time on my hands due to what I do as a freelance graphic designer. So I get a little bit more free time on my hands. So I get to watch and enjoy hockey late night and still be able to work in the background. And and Jeff happened to be a member of his group, and we almost hit it off in conversation almost immediately. And then we found, as we were going later on through our journey, our odyssey, our friendship together, that we enjoy pretty much the same sort of things. It's almost like two halves of the same brain. It's almost like he can start a sentence and I can finish it, and vice versa. So it's an incredible friendship. It's expanded beyond friendship. I think it's more of a brotherhood now, and he's my best friend in the whole world, and I wouldn't be without him.
Anything to add there, Jeff?
Well, like Russ said, we hit it off almost immediately. And I mean, to this day, I could not imagine my life without this man. He's been here for so many milestones in my life. He's been a part of it. And I'm thankful for him every single day that he's here. And when he first came to Edmonton, I had never met this man in person before. I had never talked to him. I would just talk to him in messengers. He stayed in the hotel next to a Rexall place. I would get off work after working a 12-hour day. I'd come pick Russ up at the hotel. We'd go out. I'd drop him off. I'd go home. I'd go to sleep, get up, go back to work, rinse, repeat the entire time that he was here. And I just, from then on, it's just been, okay, now you can stay at my house, and now we just do everything together, and he is my ride or die.
Well, we like that term here in oil country. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, of course, sharing that bond. And today we have Russ and Jeff sharing that bond with us here. So we thought we'd give you a different view of Fort Hall for the next part of our question segment. Question number 4. The last 2 years have ended in heartbreak, but at the same time have been incredible runs for the Edmonton Oilers. What are some of your fondest memories of the last 2 cup runs?
I think I could start this one off. So one of my fondest memories, especially from the 23-24 season, is the fact that I actually got to be here for a good chunk of it. So I was actually here on vacation for 6 weeks, back between February and April of 2024. And during that time, in that 6 weeks, I got to attend 4 Oilers games in person, 3 at home, 1 on the road with this man in Calgary. So we got to see a Battle of Alberta all at the same time in the Saddle Dome, and what an atmosphere that was. It's something special about those old buildings too. It's just you can feel like the walls talking to you of rivalries of years past, and feeling like a real active part of it, and just the memories that were made on that trip were so incredible, and to know how that season really got started, and the negative connotation that came from the people that were almost writing the team off from such a really early stage. And I like to err on the side of, like, let's just be patient here for a minute or two, and think about what the St. Louis Blues did back in 2018 when they started their season. They were bottom of the whole league by Christmas, and they went on to win the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it just shows you never give up. I mean, in the run they went on in that season, going on 17, or was it 16? 17 would have been the record, right? I can't remember. I'd have to double check that now. Memory's a little foggy on that one. 16 or 17 wins, but it was just absolutely an incredible run there. I remember it was shut down by the Vegas Golden Knights. But,
I was in attendance for that game, so.
We got them back last year, though, so it's okay. So I'm interviewing 2 guys who are massive fans of the Oilers' current goaltending tandem. Maybe show the crowd there, your jerseys there, guys. Yeah. So Skinner and Pickard, big in the hearts of these 2 fans you're watching here today. How have you guys dealt with the criticism they have received from the fan base? And would you be on board with a new goaltender entering the mix, either at training camp or during the season? Some examples we've heard as possible targets: Michael DiPietro with the Boston Bruins, Nico Dawes with the New Jersey Devils, just a couple of guys. It looks like somebody that could be a backup, could be a third stringer, someone they're got to bring in as a prospect. They lost Olivier Rodrigue earlier this summer, so they're looking for somebody in that kind of mold. What would you guys think about that? And like I said, how have you dealt with the criticism directed at Skinner and Pickard?
I think the realism is that we have to look at the numbers and the contract situation. And we know full well that although Calvin Pickard's deal is a very team-friendly deal, it's a $1 million per year salary, and he signed for at least this season coming. It's very possible that if another goaltender is acquired by either a trade or waivers or anything of that kind, it's very possible that they will allow this new goaltender to come in and have at least a chance to compete for the backup role. And if worst comes to worst, you can at least maybe assign picks to Bakersfield, and at least they have one and two, good goaltenders there with Matt Tompkins joining the team earlier during free agency too.
Yeah, I think Matt Tompkins, he's serviceable, but if one of Skinner or Pickard were to get injured, I'd have to say I'm a little bit nervous in that situation.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
I've had a lot of time to think about this. I've talked to coworkers at work about it, and we'll start off obviously when the Oilers went down, 0-2 to LA in the first, and everybody knows what a big Skinner guy I was. I mean, I am sorry, and regardless of who's playing, who's not playing, who's dressed, who's not dressed, we have to stick behind our guys. Whether it's at home, it's on the road, they need to feel that energy. They're a part of this team just like everybody else. So when it came down to the fact, obviously when Pickard was in net, and Pickard went 6 games straight, winning, I mean, I was ecstatic. People were like, you think Skinner's getting back in there? I'm like, you got to ride the hot goaltender regardless of who it is. And when he got injured, I mean, yes, Skinner went back in, but I was like, hey, I don't want to see a guy go down to see my guy go in. I mean, this is a team. I like everybody that's on this team. I mean, I support Stu because, and goaltenders, obviously because, we all know goaltenders get the rap in this city. They get it pretty hard. And he's an Edmonton born and raised guy. He grew up in this city. He even said himself, I was one of those guys who criticized the goaltenders, and now he's one of them. So he understands. And yes, Stu's had some rough games, but he's always seemed to bounce back. So
yeah, I mean, it's so tough because they're the last line of defense, right? You screw up as a forward, there's 2 other forwards there to help you out. There's another defenseman there to help you out. If the goalie screws up, misses one, well, it's just between him and the back of the net, and 9 times out of 10 goes into the back of the net when you screw it up.
Right, and that's one thing that everybody seems to remember.
So hopefully, it sounds like there probably will be somebody picked up, I would think, at training camp, either on the waiver wire or, although with the way the Oilers finished last season, they're not going to be very high on the waiver wire claim, so it'll probably have to be through trade, but I would not be shocked at all to see a goaltender added here.
Exactly. When they do, the city should welcome them with open arms, and let's keep that positivity going and welcome them to this team.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of runs. I mean, look at 2006 when Dwayne Rolson went down. Yeah. Obviously, the backup hasn't played in how long, right? And look what happens. You need both guys to be at the top of their game, and like I said, regardless of who's in net that night, we have to show them the love and the passion so we can get through this and hopefully win the championship.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, in today's NHL, it's very rare for one goaltender to carry you through a whole Stanley Cup playoff run, unless your run's very short.
Exactly. And when they do, you see how much weight they lose, just in one game alone, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I think we covered off that one. Let's dig into the summer for the Oilers with our next question. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the departure of players like Evander Kane, Connor Brown, Corey Perry, Victor Arvidsson, and Jeff Skinner. Arvidsson and Skinner, the big July 1st signings last year, and now both gone 1 year later.
Absolutely. Yeah, the big free agent fish that were out there a year ago, and now both gone. I think it kind of showed during at least the regular season how Jeff Skinner's fit was with this team. Almost like an emergency break glass situation, to use Jeff Skinner in some parts, which was frustrating for some of our fans to see, because it's like, let's just give this guy a chance to see what he can do. For some reason or not be what it was, he'd find himself on the third or the fourth lines. Victor Arvidsson is probably, I would say, probably the bigger disappointment of those two. Didn't really come as advertised from LA. Found himself injured longer than what seemed to be the initial diagnosis. And again, very much like Jeff Skinner, would find himself on the outs during the big run when it actually counts to have these guys ready and going. They just weren't good fits, and I guess that's why they're not here. Evander Kane is obviously a very, very big loss. Obviously, I think there would have been question marks around him and how ready he would be after a 10-month off injury stretch. But he exploded out of the gates almost immediately for Game 2 of Round 1 against LA, and it took him, I think, one game, Game 3 to get himself on the score sheet and start registering points. his loss is I think is quite significant because he brought a lot of swagger, a lot of sandpaper. If Evander Kane wasn't scoring, he was agitating and he was chirping in some way. That's a presence that will be sorely missed. But because of obviously it's a salary cap world, and you've got to make the numbers balance, and that's where we are with Evander Kane. Corey Perry. Oh, man, I was so sad.
That was the hardest one for me.
For me, Corey Perry is the hardest one. You can't buy experience and veteran leadership, and you would notice as well if from the moment he arrived with his team back in January of 2024 that he would be literally the first guy on the ice and the last guy to leave. He has a locker room leadership presence that will be sorely missed, and I'm hoping that what this team may have learned by being around him in such a short space of time will be life lessons that these players who are now entering really the prime years of their careers can use to go forward and deliver us our sixth Stanley Cup at some point. What's sad is that I actually received a Corey Perry jersey for my birthday, which still hasn't happened yet, but by the time I'd actually gotten to have received it, he'd been signed by LA during the free agency, so I have a Corey Perry jersey. But I will always fondly remember the times that Corey Perry had in Oil Country, especially during he had swagger too, and especially during any games that we played against Vancouver with, especially when he was holding his stick up horizontally. Saying to those guys, don't make me Susie you, and when he absolutely clowned Teddy Bluger during a game last season, and it was so funny. Corey Perry will be sorely missed, and I hope that when we play LA in our building, we welcome him back, and we welcome all of these guys back with open arms when it's their turn to play the Oilers back in this building next season.
Yeah, I think the nice part about all those guys, no one really left on a sour note. Nope. Like Evander Kane, you saw from the photos in the wedding over the weekend.
Yes.
Here. Yes. Congratulations to Leon Draisaitl and Celeste.
Congratulations.
Meant to throw that into the start of the video, but reminded myself of it now. And yeah, it just, I don't think anyone left on a bad note. If anybody came back, they would be welcomed back. Like you said, Corey Perry, just a huge piece going out the door. I don't know if you guys know, I'm a huge London Knights guy, so followed his career for a long time, was really psyched when he became an Oiler, and I'm like, what do you mean he's leaving? But I really wanted him to retire an Oiler with another Stanley Cup, but
same.
It is what it is. Anything to add there, Jeff?
Russ pretty much covered everything that I was going to say. The only thing I was going to add is that obviously, like you said, we're all big Corey Perry fans. Lots of people watching are, and even other players on the team. Unfortunately, this is a business, and we get our hearts broken when we buy those jerseys. We go to support players. But like you said, the best thing is when Corey Perry and all these other guys come back, just give them that big, warm Oil Country welcome that only this city can, and just keep on cheering.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be cheering for them as long as they're not playing the Oilers. So, with that said, those are departures, but let's talk about some of the new blood that has come to the Edmonton Oilers this summer. The first big name was Andrew Mangiapane. We believe he's playing in the top six, most likely with Leon Draisaitl, but we'll see how it all ends up working out. Could be different fits in training camp that work better, but your thoughts on Andrew Mangiapane now becoming an Edmonton Oiler?
Well, I think he was really this team's real big first free agent target this season. There's versatility there because he can play center too, as well as left wing. He's familiar with where he's playing too, because he played a lot of years as a Calgary Flame. He's familiar with this team. He's familiar with this province and the weather, and he should fit in quite nicely. His first two sort of real sort of professional seasons he played, obviously in Stockton in the AHL with Brett Kulak, and parts of his first pro season in Calgary with Brett Kulak too. So he's got someone he's familiar with, and he's on friendly territory here. It probably didn't work out for him as well as he would have hoped in Washington too, which is a shame. But he has a chance to reset, and sometimes a new change of scenery is all a man needs to get himself up and going. And then finding a fit for him shouldn't really be a problem because he has a little bit of that versatility there. So I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Mangiapane in Oilers colors and seeing what he can do. And then more so, I think when a player plays teams that they've played for, so when the Oilers will play the Caps and when the Oilers will play the Flames on home opener on October 8, to see Mangiapane line up in Oilers colors will be very, very exciting. And hopefully he'll put up some points for us in that game.
Yeah, nice little hat trick or something to get things started. Why not?
What a great way to introduce yourself and welcome yourself to Oil Country.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Mangiapane there, Jeff? Or Russ got it covered?
Russ didn't have it covered, but like you said, I'm going to let him just kind of take it, and everything he's saying is good, so I'll pass it back to him.
Sorry.
No, all good.
My Canadian showing, sorry.
So the next piece that the Oilers added wasn't necessarily the biggest piece, but he is someone who's going to obviously factor into this team's success as a possible fourth-line right shot center, and that is former Edmonton Oil King Curtis Lazar joining the Edmonton Oilers. So your thoughts on Curtis Lazar?
Yeah, he was part of that, obviously, the big Memorial Cup winning team for the Oil Kings in 2014. And I think really from the commencement of that season, I think a lot of us in Oil Country who've been following the Oilers for some time would have liked to have thought that at some point it was really only a matter of when and not if Curtis Lazar would become an Oiler. He's bounced around the league quite a lot. He's ended up playing for Vancouver. He's ended up playing for Calgary. He's ended up playing for Boston. He's ended up playing for New Jersey. And now he's now back in a friendly environment that he'll also be familiar with in Edmonton, and he'll be excited to see what he can bring in that fourth line role as a center, and obviously right shot too. So it will give Noah Philp, who was probably assumed to be the incumbent new fourth line right center, to give him a run for his money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nothing's going to be given on this team. That's
absolutely
for sure.
Not. Every guy will be given the opportunity to work for that spot, and that's the. I always think that's the meaning of work of being in Alberta. It's a blue collar province. Everybody works here. So.
No, absolutely. So the third name on our list, going back to my London Knights fandom, I was so happy and then so gutted at the exact same time. Yes. Because we brought in Isaac Howard from the Tampa Bay Lightning, former first round pick. Shouldn't say first overall pick, but a former first round pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning. But going back the other way was our first round pick, Sam O'Reilly, who I was really excited about to see in future Oilers colors here. But in Ike Howard, the Oilers are getting somebody who can help them right now. Sam O'Reilly was still probably a couple years away, and the Oilers need to inject some youth into this lineup. And Ike Howard, Hobey Baker winner, he's going to get a chance to probably play like Andrew Mangiapane with either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, at least to start out. Your thoughts on the arrival of Ike Howard to the Edmonton Oilers?
Yeah, so it's like you say, maybe Sam O'Reilly is probably projected to be at least a couple of years away, and he's a centerman, and we have an abundance really of them. We needed a little bit more versatility on the wing, and we needed somebody that can help us right now as opposed to maybe a few years down the line. Obviously, Isaac Howard is a Hobey Baker winner. Obviously, that comes with a huge amount of pedigree. And it's exciting to see what he will bring in his first season as a member of the Oilers with that hopeful youthful injection that we need. We needed a little bit of speed, and hopefully Isaac Howard can bring that. And what's exciting about his arrival is that he was quite willing to play here, and he was ready to forego playing in somewhere sunny, like in Florida with Tampa Bay, as a born and raised American too. So for him to want to willingly come to Canada, knowing full well what he signed up for with Edmonton winners that can sometimes seemingly last up to maybe 8 months long, it's very, very exciting. It's an exciting time for Oil Country, and we should be excited to welcome Isaac Howard to this team. Yeah, and we should be patient. I would offer the advice to be patient, because success doesn't come immediately for these young players, and we should be able to give this kid a long tether, and hopefully he can help our team with the speed that we need and put up some points too.
Excellent points there, Russ. Excellent points. And yeah, being American born, wanting to come here, huge advantage there for
Absolutely.
the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, even if he only lasts for his entry-level contract, the Oilers can do a lot of damage in the next 3 seasons.
Absolutely.
So having a guy,
There's
a guy like that
there's a lot of
is
youthful
very
injection.
exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of youthful injection too. With obviously, hopefully Matt Savoy will be playing in this lineup a little bit more regularly.
Yeah.
And in the wings down there too is still Quinn Hudson, who is still signed for another year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that kind of covers off the new guys, but obviously, as of this recording, we have one big news story that is still percolating out there, and with Leon Draisaitl's wedding now in the rearview mirror, I think we should be getting news on this shortly. Let's do a little Connor McDavid prediction time. What's the AAV of the contract and the length that Connor McDavid ultimately signs for with the Edmonton Oilers?
I don't know, man. Oh, you started that one. I don't.
Oh boy, now we're putting me under pressure. 16 million, is that fair? Leon
16 or 60?
16. Hey, if we could give Connor McDavid 60 million, I give him 60 million out of my own pocket right now. I think 16 million per year is probably fair. It will make him obviously the highest player in the league, which again is almost surely a given anyway. As terms of length, I would like to say it will probably match the same length as Leon's contract once it kicks in this season. So maybe seven at 16, and then their deals would expire at roughly about the same time. That's the hope.
I agree with that. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, since I put you guys on the spot, I should participate in this as well. I'm going to say he does 8 years, because I've heard a few people say it as well, so I'm not going to take full credit for this, but if Connor McDavid ultimately decides that he wants to leave, it's not really going to matter how much time is left on his contract.
Right.
Connor McDavid writes his own ticket, so if he wants to leave, a trade will get worked out. So why not lock yourself in for 8 guaranteed years? You know the Oilers are going to pay what you want. I mean, probably more likely it's going to be a 4 or 5 year deal, because that seems to be the growing trend here in the NHL, but I'll go on a limb, say 8 years, and I'll go 17 million for 8 years with Connor McDavid. So my last question here. Back-to-back years, the Oilers have gone down in the Stanley Cup Finals, both times to the Florida Panthers. So if somebody other than the Florida Panthers could make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, that would be greatly
wonderful.
appreciated.
And Tampa.
And Tampa.
We're tired to be Florida, no offense.
Yeah. Gentlemen, does Cup number 6 come in 2026?
Does Cup number 6 come in 2026? Well, as we all know, it's a long season. In a couple of years, the season's going to get even longer. And we're adding more teams. But as of right now, I mean, our players are in their prime. This is their time to do it. This is their opportunity to do it. The players need it. The fans need it. And the players deserve it. And I would say, barring any kind of injuries out there, our new guys come in, they take a little bit to fit into the team. The fans are patient with them. We show them the love and support that the Oil Country does, and maybe a few additions that come in. Absolutely, yes. I could see a cup coming in 2026. I mean, we've seen lots of teams. Obviously, the Oilers won 5 cups in 7 years. The dynasty teams have done it, and it doesn't mean we can't do it again. So, yes, I would say that the Oilers have a very good chance of bringing the cup home in 2026. Mark it right here.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. I would like to
Choose your words carefully, Russ.
Yeah. Oh, I would like to say something that hadn't been said. Is that sometimes in this city, especially during the decade of darkness between the years of 2007 to 2016, it was a very dark time for this city, and there wasn't playoff hockey. But I once heard a phrase that said, there may not be playoff quality hockey, but these are playoff quality fans. And I love the city of Edmonton, and I'm very proud to visit the city of Edmonton. And I love this place almost like anywhere else, almost like nowhere else on this earth. It's like a second home to me. The people of this city are so good to me, and the people of this city deserve a 6th cup. Do I think a 6th cup could come in 2026? Yeah, why not? Because our chances are as good as any. I said earlier during the interview is that Corey Perry's experience is something that couldn't be bought. It has to be earned. And 2 years of going back-to-back in Stanley Cup finals and being on the losing end, you learn lessons from this. And I think we learned lessons during this last year's run that we could have maybe have had in the years before that run. We're learning lessons. We're always learning lessons every passing game to every passing season. Can we get a cup this season? This upcoming season? Sure, why not? Let's get it. Year 2026 for cup number 6 sounds like a good deal to me. Let's do it.
Well, I think it's just got a beautiful ring to it.
It has indeed.
And the saying is third time's the charm, right?
Absolutely. Third time is a charm.
Okay, now before we wrap up, I don't think we really covered this with you, Jeff. We got to talk about that hair.
Absolutely.
You got to give the crew a look at your. I mean, you might think this is his real hair, but
that's exactly it. Is that most people that follow me on social media or follow Russ have never seen me without this. I probably don't realize that this lies beneath.
So give us the story of the hair there, Jeff.
Okay, so let me fix this for a second. So on August 1st of 2015, I got a brush cut, and I had short hair at the time anyway, but I got a brush cut, and usually I let my hair grow out for the winter because I had a winter job. Well, got halfway through the winter and my hair started getting long, and my coworker was like, "So Jeff, when are you going to get a haircut?" And I was like, "Well, maybe I should wait until the Oilers win the Stanley Cup," kind of like jokingly off. And he's like, "I think you should do that." And here we are, unfortunately, 10 years to the date, 4 days ago at the recording of this video, and the hair is still there. I've stuck to the process. So I want to obviously cut this hair off for a Stanley Cup. And when the Oilers win that 6th Stanley Cup, I will be donating this hair to Wigs for Kids. And I'll be doing it live on TV.
Well, we hope that you can spend Game 7, if there is a Game 7, in a barbershop this year.
Absolutely need to.
Get you a nice big screen TV in there, watch the game, get it cut off.
Sounds fantastic.
Unless, of course, Game 7's here, then you got to be down here.
Oh, 100%.
We'll get your hair cut here in Fort Hall, something like that.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready. Let's do it right now.
Well, gentlemen, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover here today. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Final thoughts are just thank you so much for everything that you do and for taking time out of your busy schedule to interview us. And yeah,
my
we definitely
pleasure.
appreciate it.
I think at the time of this current recording, it's 65 days to the start of the season. 65 days too long. Hurry up, September! I want to see preseason. Hurry up, home opener! I want to see the Oilers smash the Flames on home ice here at Rogers. Let's go Oilers! Woo!
Let's go!
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, Russ. I appreciate this so much. I wanted to give you guys a little behind-the-scenes look at Edmonton Oilers fandom. I'm sure many of you out there know Russ and Jeff already. You didn't need this video, but hopefully this video gives you a little inside look and gives us their thoughts really on the summer and the year to come here for the Edmonton Oilers. So thank you to everyone for joining us here on the Oilers Fanatic and the Heavy Hockey Network. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.